Hello and welcome to this video on index laws. Now, indices work very easily. Y to the power 5, for example, means y times y times y times y times y. So we've got y times y times y times y times y. And I'm multiplying that by y squared, so I'm timesing it by y here. So if we look, I've got 7 y's. So that's y to the power 7. Now, that would be quite a lot of work for me to need to do every time, but this is quite an interesting fact. What we can also notice is a pattern or a relationship between 5, 2 and 7. Now if I were to go on to tell you that y to the power 8 times y to the power 10 is y to the power 18, and y to the 6 times y squared is y to the power 8, hopefully we can see quite easily a pattern that's going on here. If I had y to the power 5 times y to the power 4, the answer is y to the power 9. And I know that because 5 plus 4 equals 9. And notice that the base, the y, has stayed the same. So as a general rule, I can say that y to the a times y to the b equals y to the a plus b. And that all works because of this bit up here. Y to the power 5 is, or y to the power a would be a amounts of y's all multiplied together. And we multiply it by some more y's. And overall we'll have done y a plus b times y to the power a plus b. Now hopefully we'll be able to spot quite a similar pattern going on here, but this time we're dividing now instead of multiplying. So y to the power 10 divided by y to the power 8. I can think of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now hopefully we can see 10 y's on the top, 8 y's on the bottom. I can do some cancelling. I can cancel that y with that y, and that y with that y, and that y with that y, 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 y. So I'm left with y squared, y times y. And again, we might spot something between 10, 8 and 2. Now here, if I were to tell you that y to the 7 divided by y to the 10 is y to the minus 3, y to the 3 times y to the minus 4 is y to the 7. What's going on here is we're subtracting the bottom. So y to the 6 divided by y to the 4 is y to the 6 minus 4, which is y squared. Remember this one here, y to the 3 divided by y to the minus 4, 3 take away minus 4 is the same as 3 add 4, which is why I get y to the 7. So in general terms, y to the a divided by y to the b is y to the a minus b. Just a few things to spot here. Y to the half is the square root of y to the third is the third root of y to the quarter is the fourth root of y to the fifth is the fifth root of y to the power of 1 over n is the nth root of y. Just an interesting little addition to remember. So 1 over x is the same as x to the power of minus 1. So y to the minus 1 is 1 over y, and so on. Now x to the power of minus 5 means 1 over x to the power 5, and x to the minus 7 means 1 over x to the power 7. Hopefully again we can spot a pattern that's going on here. Now have a guess, see what you think x to the power of minus 9 is. It's 1 over x to the 9. So in general terms, if I've got x or y or any letter I wanted to the minus n, that's the same as 1 over x to the n. And as I say a minute ago when we were doing some dividing, we saw some negative powers. It's useful for us to know what that negative power means though. So x to the minus 3 is just 1 over x to the power 3, and so on. But we can use these negative powers in exactly the same way for our multiplication and division. So x to the minus 4 times x squared is going to be x to the minus 2, because minus 4 add 2 is minus 2. Last little trick for us to learn, last thing for us to think about. Y to the power 3 to the power 5 is y to the power of 15. And I got that 15 by doing 3 times 5. If we think about why that works, y to the power 3 means y. And I'm squaring it, so I times it by y again, and you can see that I've got 6 y's, or y to the power 6. And using our little trick, 3 times 2 is 6. So y to the minus 4 all to the power of 5 is y to the minus 20. I've got that by doing minus 4 times 5 is minus 20. So this is raising a power to a different power. So if I had y squared all to the power of minus 3, that would be y to the minus 6, because 2 times minus 3 is minus 6. Y to the 4 all to the power of 5 would be y to the 20, because 4 times 5 is 20. Hope that helps, and thank you for listening.